Orioles this season. No surprise, starting pitching the difference every time. Tonight, Stephen Strasburg puts his perfect 7-0 record on the line, while the offense schemes another dark night for Matt Harvey.
It feels like baseball weather in Washington, D.C. What a fabulous day in the district. Sun out all day. Harvey and Strasburg meet for the 4th time in their careers. Right now, Harvey's won 2, Stevens won the other. But the most recent went to the Nats starter in New York last week. Got a boisterous crowd here at the ballpark tonight. Nats and Mets fans trying to shout each other down. And it all boils down to really starting pitching, FP. There's been some timely hitting, some home runs here and there. But in the 4 games so far, all 8 starters have been involved in the decisions.
I don't think that should surprise anybody. I mean, that's what these teams are built on. The 2014 NL East champs Washington Nationals are built on pitching. The 2015 NL East champion New York Mets built on pitching. That's what these teams do. They both have 2 of the best staffs in all of baseball, and the old adage that good pitching beats good hitting, you've seen it. I mean, whoever pitches well in this series so far this year has a really good chance of winning the games. Look at 0-1, 1-1. It's hard to score runs against these guys.
Strasburg unbeaten. Harvey 3-6 with a 5.77 ERA. I've asked some of our media friends from New York, what happens if Matt Harvey has another bad outing tonight? They have no idea. There's a lot of concern about him in New York, but maybe one start can turn that around for him.
Well, he was given the option of skipping a start, and he told Terry Collins, no, you got to pitch your way out of this thing. And I think for Matt Harvey tonight, you have to look the beast in the eye. This is a team that just gave you your shortest outing of your career, gave up the most runs of his career against a ball club. So what better team to do it against than the team that you just had no success against? And on the other side, Stephen Strasburg's been amazing. So you remember in 2013 when these 2 guys faced at each other in Citi Field, all the Mets fans chanting Harvey's better. I don't know if that's the case right now. You might hear a little Strasburg's better here tonight.
I think that will be decided between the lines. Defense, these are 2 clubs that can really pick it. On the infield, in the outfield, the Nats in the season series, not a single error. The Mets have made just 1. The Nats are number 1 in Major League Baseball in fielding. The Mets are in the top 3, and they're second to the Nats in fewest errors. Pitching and defense, the rule of the day so far.
For the achiever in you. By Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. By Dominion. Depend on us for more than energy. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit dckiadealers.com to learn more. What a night at the ballpark. Good crowd gathering. A lot of Mets fans are here. They're feeling their oats after a 7-1 win last night. Teams within a half game of each other. Bryce going out there and exchanging greetings with his bullpen buddies. About to get this one underway. Magnificent night. 80 degrees. Humidity way down after all the rain we've had in the district for the last couple of weeks. What a respite a night like tonight is. Here's the Mets lineup. 11th in hitting, 12th in runs, 1st in home runs in the National League. Neil Walker's handled Steven Strasburg pretty well as a Pirate and as a Met. 5 hits, a homer, 2 RBIs, a walk. Strasburg against a good lineup. Cespedes, by the way, just 2 for 5 career with a walk against him. So some small sample sizes. And by the way, FP, as we look at Steven, Nat starters have had the decision in their last 10 games. 5 wins, 5 losses.
Well, that's the guy you want on the mound after a loss last night. Steven Strasburg, 7-0 on the year. His best start ever. Last start was against these Mets. He was a 9-1 winner against Matt Harvey in New York. Gave up just 1 run on 6 hits. Struck out 10 Mets. And get this, last start, Carp, his fastball averaged 96 miles an hour. It was the highest velocity average he's had all year. Let's set the defense for the Nats behind Steven. Worth, Revere, Harper, the outfield. Espinoza, Rendon, left side. Murphy, Zimmerman, right side. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate. And Bryce has got a few Mets fans out there. He might be thinking he's playing at Citi Field tonight. You look at that contingent of Mets fans right behind him. A lot of sun on the clean-shaven Bryce Harper. Did you see that?
Granderson, first pitch of the game and a fly ball to center. Underway at 7:06. Ben Revere for the first out. So Granderson trying for another one of those leadoff ambush home runs. 7 years in the big leagues for Vic Carapazza. He has the plate. The crew chief, John Hirschbeck, out at second tonight. DJ Rayburn at first. Bill Welke third. Next up, Asdrubal Cabrera. He's on a 6-game hitting streak. Couple of knocks here early in the game last night. 8 for his last 23. And Cabrera's batting average up to 284. 267 career hitter at the start of the season. Stevens' 11th start against the Mets. 0-2 against them in this ballpark, which is interesting.
Well, my scouting report and recipe for success for the Nats is pretty simple. Keep the ball in the yard. And it might not be as simple as just saying that because the Mets have 63 home runs. They lead the National League. But that's what they do. They hit homers. So you keep them in the yard, you got a good chance to win.
That is a nasty breaking pitch at 85. And the count 1-2. Wow.
I mean, a curveball with slider action at 85.
Threw in another one. It bounces into the Nats dugout.
But he must have been pumped for that start at Citi Field because his slider velocity, 91, was the highest it's been all year. The curveball velocity at 82, also the highest it's been all year.
Target away. Yeah, Strasburg in this park against the Mets 0-2 with a 4.08 ERA, 3 starts, 5-1 at Citi Field, including his gem last week. Here's a 2-2, swing and a miss. 96 blown by Cabrera. That was a rubber game last week.
Yeah, 6 innings by Steven, struck out 10 Mets. Remember, we set the over-under at 11, so he missed that. He took the under on Mets strikeouts. But what was it, the 25th time in his career that he struck out 10 or more in a game?
It was.
So looking for more of this here tonight in the white uniform.
113 pitches, 78 strikes, 1 walk, 10 Ks, just 6 hits. David Wright not in the lineup tonight. Michael Conforto is. He plays left field and bats third, ahead of Cespedes. Foul tip, and just like that, it's 0-2 with 2 outs.
Jumping out of his hand early, 97.
There's a dangerous cleanup man. Conforto 0 for 6 career against Strasburg. Shift is on. Rendon out at short. Murphy short right field, only a couple of steps onto the grass. Doesn't matter. Strasburg blows away another left-handed batter, and that's a 10-pitch first inning with a fly ball and 2 Ks. He's on his game tonight. Now the Nats face Harvey. So he runs out of the dugout, picks up the ball, ready to go to work. And here comes the Nats lineup. Pretty much the usual bunch. Wilson Ramos 4 for 13 against Harvey with 3 RBIs. Batting .339 coming into this one. So the regulars are in there against Harvey, who's now 3-4 in 11 starts against the Nats, and a very important personal night for him and his team.
Suffered second straight loss last start, 9-1 against the Nats at Citi Field. Shortest start of his career, just 2 2/3. Gave up a career high 9 runs through 61 pitches, 40 for strikes. The fastball last start averaged 93.5 miles an hour. The start before that, 92.8. But for me, the story with Harvey was his body language last time. He looked like he was searching the whole game, and he wasn't the same Matt Harvey we've seen in the past with his confidence level and his body language on the mound.
Yeah, we didn't see that swagger, did we? He walked Worth. Murphy homered off him in the first inning. Ben Revere takes a fastball, and it's 2-0. In that game, Revere lined out his first time, singled and tripled opposite field after that. Taking a strike, and it's 2-1.
Low strike, huh?
Yeah, generous 2-0 call. That's upstairs. Wouldn't you know, Revere would love to get aboard, and the Nats would love to see Harvey off the stretch after one hitter. He walks Ben Revere to start the game.
I'm telling you, we just saw it with Giancarlo Stanton in Miami. When you have an upper echelon player that's scuffling and everybody's watching, the microscope's on him, how are they going to react? We had great shots of Giancarlo in the dugout, and you could tell he was searching. And I was told that Matt Harvey is going to drop his arm angle here today, that it was a little bit too high last start. But just based on one hitter, you can tell he's grinding already. He's thinking more than he is just being an athlete.
Here's Worth, 4 for 20 against Harvey, career.
Sometimes you just got to throw all the clutter out and go out there and let it rip. Same goes for a hitter scuffling too.
Ben Revere 2 for 4 stealing. Mets have allowed the most steals of any pitching staff and catching staff in Major League Baseball, 36. Worth out of play, right side.
Here's your Mets defense today behind Matt Harvey. Conforto, Cespedes, Granderson in the outfield. Cabrera, Kelly left side. Walker, Campbell right side. And Kevin Plawecki behind the plate. David Wright with the night off after having a big one last night.
And Revere back in plenty of time.
I'll tell you what, those Mets fans in right field better pace themselves. There's no way they can keep this up for 9 innings. They're pedal to the metal here in the bottom of the first.
Worth reaching. Harvey to second. Throws a high bullet to the shortstop. Cabrera turns the 1-6-3.
Well, if you're having doubts, there's nothing better to help you out than a double play. A little tapper back to the mound. Perfect feed to Asdrubal Cabrera. Easy 1-6-3 double play once Matt Harvey threw it perfectly to his shortstop.
No, Bryce Harper. Right field base hit in that game last Thursday. First career hit against Harvey, who's walked him 3 times, struck him out 7 times. 1 for 22 that career matchup.
Good rip. Do you see where Bryce walked right past the beat writers last night when they walked in the clubhouse, and he had his batting gloves on, bat in his hand? He went right down to the cage and hit for a while after the game, trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah, then he hit on the field again this afternoon alone early. Low and inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
All of a sudden he looks 23, doesn't he? Got the beard.
I just like to see him running around the bases. And a 1-2, well inside, counts even.
A little 4-leaf clover on the knob of the bat.
Target away. Bryce takes it that way and keeps the AB alive. On the button, he hit it. Walker the backhand, and that's it for the Nats. In the bottom of the first, Harvey, a good inning for him. Strasburg even better so far.
lined up at the gates. Fans coming in for this big game between Steven Strasburg, Matt Harvey. They're ready to see a pitching duel. We're ready to see 80s night. Or at least Ryan Zimmerman walk on the screen and play his bat. I mean, there's not a lot more to say. First 20,000 fans to receive a Nats fanny pack. It'll be a pregame concert featuring the leg warmers. For more information, to purchase tickets and to see that guy, visit nationals.com/80s night.
I told Ryan today we're going to nominate that for something, not sure yet what. He said, I'm the guy they come to because they know I won't say no. He enjoys having fun. On behalf of us and our fans, we thank you, Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Top of the second, strike one to Yoenis Cespedes. He's on a 6-game hitting streak, 9 for 21. Kept that going with a base hit and an opposite field homer last night. He's right up there, above Nolan Arenado. RBI total 36, also number one ahead of Anthony Rizzo. He got jammed on that pitch and skies it straight back. And then Neil Walker on deck. That's a lot of pop in the middle of this lineup with Conforto, Cespedes, and Walker, or David Wright when he's in there. And a 1-2 bounces into the mid of Wilson Ramos. Strasburg first inning, by the way, 10 pitches, 8 strikes. Got Granderson on the first pitch of the game.
You know, people that say a win doesn't mean a lot for a pitcher, I understand the philosophy, and I'm coming around to it. But Steven Strasburg this year has given himself a chance to qualify for wins because he's been going deeper into games. So when I think of as a pitcher, if you're 7-0, well, maybe some of those games you were behind and you pitched well enough to stay in there long enough for your team to come back and win. So when people say that a pitcher has nothing to do with a W and it's just totally out of his hands, I have to disagree.
Well, he's gone at least 6 every start.
But I do see their point, if that makes any sense.
Cespedes drives it to right. Bryce Harper just had to take a couple of steps back. That's a bullet. 4 in a row to start the game.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. That is brought to you by Miller Lite.
Neil Walker is next. Strasburg has gone 6, 7 2/3, 8, 7 1/3, 7, 6, 7, 6, 6 in his starts this year. Harvey has not gone beyond 6 innings in any start. Here's Neil Walker hitting .261, .248 left-handed. Counts even. Jeep takes us inside some numbers where the 2 ball clubs rank. 2 of the top 6 winning percentages. Mets second to Tampa Bay in homers. Orioles have 63 as well, like New York. ERA fielding, pitching defense, and power hitting. Walker got jammed. This one over by the dugout and right into the Mets dugout, unreachable. Walker from the Pirates in a trade for Jonathan Neese last December. 16 homers, 71 batted in for the Bucks last year. Nothing doing first time up this time. And Steven Strasburg, out of 5 batters, has struck out 3 swinging. Nissan will show it.
Pretty good pitch right here. Just buzzes the fastball up and in at 96 miles an hour. You see all the leverage, the torque, and how he's finishing his pitches. Just throwing through Wilson Ramos's chest.
Then he goes 91, cutting away from Eric Campbell. Campbell 0 for 2 against Steven. Steps in batting an even 200. One-two with 2 outs. Off speed, picked by Ramos. Counts even. One game in the division today. The Marlins lost at home to Tampa Bay, 4-3. Phillies at Detroit again. No score early. Steven taking some time and Campbell getting time from Vic Carapazza. Had him 0-2 and now the count's full.
Subtle slider at 90.
Scherzer, Jones, Maddox, all the guys watching Strasburg. Subtle at 89 for the strikeout. 6 in a row for Steven. Here comes Murph to lead off. Bottom 2.
At Nationals Park. Big start for the Mets' Matt Harvey, as we've talked about. And Terry Collins, Mets manager, was asked earlier today what specifically he would like to see from Matt Harvey outside of maybe a win tonight. He said, I'd like to see his stuff get a little bit crisper, his slider have a little more bite to it. But more than anything, Collins and the Mets are hoping that Harvey gives some quality innings just to boost his confidence. Collins said that's the main goal right now, is to get Harvey's swagger, his confidence back up. And the Mets see it as a good sign that Harvey wanted the ball this series. He didn't say, I want a break after the last rough outing up in New York against the Nationals. He wanted to get back out there and try and fight through this. Now he needs to try and get the results to go with that fire.
All right, thank you, Dan. Don't miss incredible Coons Memorial Day savings going on now. That's Dan with a Coons.com sideline report. Murphy launches one. Look out, upper deck.
That is a bomb in cricket. That's right over the dugout. Third deck.
And that ball at about a 45 to 50 degree angle to the right.
It tried to get in on him. And you remember he had an 0-2 slider out. Look where he hit that, right over the spring training sign. Third deck.
He doesn't swing and miss much these days. Murphy unbelievable on the hits. He's 65 for 167. Xander Bogaerts leads the American League with 63 with the Red Sox. 0-2 to Murphy. Target away, and Harvey's 95 is out that way. Right-handers, lefties, home, road, you name it. Murphy, by the way, hitting .420 in his new ballpark.
Well, the homer last week at Citi Field, I think, was an 0-2 pitch. He threw him a couple of fastballs, then he left that curveball right down the middle. Daniel Murphy deposited it into right center field. And his reactions coming back to the dugout on homers are the best. We love him.
And that was an out after the Worth walk gave the Nats an early 2-run lead. Then they plowed on 7 more in the third. Murphy goes upstairs and Harvey strikes him out. Matt Harvey, first K of the game.
A pretty good fastball so far tonight for Matt Harvey. 95, 96 miles an hour, elevated right there to Daniel Murphy. But the slider has been good too, around 90. Better stuff, way better stuff than last time.
Only 2 strikeouts for him against the Nats last week. Ryan Zimmerman swinging, Wilson Ramos taking. Here's Zimmerman, 4 for 19 against him. Harvey ahead. That was only Daniel Murphy's 20th strikeout this year in 168 at bats. %80 heat so far. Four 0-2 counts already. Ryan's the 5th Nats batter. Zimmerman fights one off, got his hands inside it beautifully, and the Nats have their first base hit tonight, their second base runner.
And there goes the no-hitter. Ryan Zimmerman with his 80s guitar pulls his hands in and lines a single to left field on a changeup down and in. Nice piece of hitting, nice adjustment.
Next up, Anthony Rendon. So Zim now 5 for 20 against Harvey. Anthony's 5 for 15 against him with 3 career runs batted in. Rendon had a 3-hit night in the ball game Harvey started last week, but only one of those against him. A 2-run 3rd inning double. That was the ball off the glove of Michael Conforto out in left field. A lot of ground ball room right side of the infield. 2-0. All systems go on 2-0 right there for Anthony.
Pretty hot last,
great.
Yeah, last 10 games, 371. Doubles, triples.
Yeah, a rare 0 for 4 last night. But he has turned everything around here. And Rendon's in the top 5 in the league with runs scored, 30. Harvey first inning, 14 pitches, 8 strikes. He has a strikeout. He's given up a base hit here in the second. Short lead by Ryan Zimmerman. And a 2-1 is well outside. Big man on deck.
Yeah, danger lurking.
Wow. Wilson Ramos has been using all fields lately too.
He's always been a Met killer too.
That's outside. 2 on, 1 out. Keeping Harvey off the stretch here. Second walk of the game. Wilson, by the way, first major league homer against the Mets back in 2010. R.A. Dickey the victim. Four for 13, as we told you when we showed you the lineup, with 3 career batted in against Harvey, who wants another ground ball. Wilson looking for something he can drive. Outfield pretty straight away. Cespedes a bit toward the right center gap. And that's going to go to the right side. Well played by Walker. Only play he has at first. And the Nats will move Zimmerman to third, Rendon to second.
Well, that's a big play by Neil Walker for a number of reasons. Now it allows Terry Collins to maybe walk Danny Espinosa and go after Steven Strasburg if he decides to do so. But it saved the run, number 1, and now we'll see some strategy from the Mets manager on what he decides to do. Great play by Neil Walker, robbing the Buffalo. Matt Harvey has to love that. Guy's playing hard behind him.
Plawecki looking at the dugout. Now he goes into his crouch. Danny Espinosa against Matt Harvey. 3 for 6. If I look at that, I'm walking him. Strasburg, by the way, 1 for 6 against Harvey on deck. Pitching carefully, maybe. And a slide to the right. There's the risk you run.
Yeah.
FP, you bury a breaking ball, it might be 1-0.
Pitch too carefully, it might go to the screen. Nice block by Kevin Plawecki. Guy on deck can hit. But the guy in the batter's box has paid the hit.
Two on, 2 out. Off speed, 82 right in there. Up and in. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track early here.
Close. He tried to wear it off his elbow.
He did. Danny's been hit by 7 pitches this year. Harvey has hit only 1 batter. And Espinosa, short right field. Granderson coming in. So they pitch to Danny Espinosa. For the Mets, it pays off. Nationals strand their first 2 runners of the night. No score after 2.
some strikeouts, some Ks here early from Steven Strasburg. And the fastball's been nice, 96 to 97. The curveball's been what we've gotten used to. There it is. There's a hammer, a knee buckler. A yellow hammer, a yacker. All right, that's enough.
Punchies.
Now it's time for Toyota Case for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this season.
You left out one of our favorite relatives, Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie. Darn it. It's live TV. I was not on top of my game.
Here's Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, hitting a .193. 1 for 4 with an RBI against Steven Strasburg in recent career matchups.
I heard, Toyota, that Steven Strasburg's changed his number to 99 next year.
Cha-ching. 2-0. I don't know. I mean, if the whole contract thing works out, there may never be another player wear that name or wear that number here.
Hey, good call. I like what you're thinking.
Chopper down the third. Anthony Rendon there. 7 straight to start the game.
Oh, Taste of the World, give it to me. Pre-game food festival, the special ticket. I can't wait this is over so you don't go anymore. Bite-sized culinary delights, drinks, entertainment, more than a dozen. Embassy salt and pepper shakers. You get, I mean, that's all I needed to say. Visit nationals.com/taste for tastes of the world.
Ty Kelly was born in Dallas, lives in San Diego, signed as a minor league free agent by the Mets. After Baltimore drafted him in 09, big minor league time with the Orioles, Mariners, and Cardinal organizations. Called up yesterday when they put Lucas Duda on the DL. And at the time, he was leading the minor leagues with a batting average. This is at AAA Vegas, .391 with an on-base percentage of .478. So his first big league at bat. At the age of 27, played at Loyola Marymount, UC Davis. Ty Kelly.
It's a good foul ball.
Yeah, reached out there, leveled off, stayed alive.
You say, well, what are you talking about, good foul ball? Well, it's your first at-bat ever. You've grinded out in the minor leagues forever, and you're facing Steven Strasburg. So, yeah, that's a changeup we've seen a lot of guys miss. And if you think I have a soft spot for guys that spend a lot of time in the minors, you're right, I do.
Fastball up. Got him on the inside edge. Not sure he saw any pitches like that in the Pacific Coast League. Nissan will track it.
Well, he may have seen fastballs like this, but I don't know if he's seen 4 pitches from a guy like this. And there's guys in the big leagues that haven't. Borderline call goes Stevens' way. You'll see guys down there, Carp, that have 1 pitch that are above major league average, but to have 4 like Steven, I mean, that's a rarity even at this level.
Curtis Granderson on deck as Matt Harvey tries to keep the 3rd inning alive. Strasburg, 8 straight, 5 on strikes. Harvey gets a piece of it. He's 2 for 11 this year. And a pretty good hitter, 132 career with a home run, 12 RBIs. Against Strasburg, 0 for 6.
So did you see where Bartolo Colon told Wilson Ramos last night he wasn't going to swing at any pitch? I didn't see him say that. But he told Wilson, I'm not swinging tonight. And he didn't.
Struck out looking 3 times.
He was the Statue of Liberty last night. His back's a little bit tight. And he said, I'm not swinging.
Yeah. He's got his home run for the year.
Oh, he pitched well, I know that.
That's a strikeout. So,
I mean, do you think that guy's getting worried right now? Look at the strikeouts. 2, 4, 6 for Steven Strasburg in 3 innings.
Strikeouts, punchies, let's say 6 Strasses so far.
At Citi Field, the 3rd inning was the big inning. Anthony Rendon with the double, but Revere started with a single. Jason Worth lined out to center. Bryce Harper singled, stole a base. Hitz Murphy walked. The big error by Asdrubal Cabrera on the double play ball. Then Rendon, Ramos, Espinoza, Revere, you're seeing it all. The 2, 4, 6, 7 run 3rd inning last week at Citi Field. So here we are again, but I'll tell you this, Matt Harvey's got way better stuff here tonight.
Yeah, Revere was 2 for 2 in that inning with 3 RBIs and a run scored. 33 pitches, 19 strikes so far. Here's Strasburg. Right down the middle with 94. Steven 4 for 23 on the year. Good take. It's 2-2. Trying to make his opponent throw 5 or 6 in this at bat. Going to serve that one for a base hit to right field. Strasburg now against Harvey, 2 for 7 career, and that's Stevens' 5th base hit. Ties Max Scherzer for the staff lead.
Well, early in the game, right? But it's been the Steven Strasburg show. 6 strikeouts, doing his thing on the mound, if you will, and then a base hit to right. 2nd knock of the night for the Nats.
Perfect drop shot into right field.
Nice.
Here's Revere, walked his first time up. Ty Kelly on the grass at 3rd. Increasing Ben's hitting room over on the left side if he can stay on the ball and hit one hard. Up and away, ball 1. Ben still 7 for 17 over his last 4 games, plus 1 at bat. The Nats have forced Harvey to pitch off the stretch now in every inning. For 1 batter in the first and 3 in the second. And Ben Revere will pop it up to left field. Michael Conforto, first out. Follow Nationals Baseball Live and everything else with the MLB.com At Bat app. You can stay up to the moment with Game Day, live game video highlights and StatCast. Download MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. And I heard today that that's the #1 app for any sport in Major League anywhere.
Yeah, they do a good job. I'm on it all day, every day. That's no joke.
Jason Worth got behind in the count 0-2 first time up. And as Harvey made him take a defensive swing, he had a bouncer back to the pitcher who started a 1-6-3 double play. Close, ball one. Nats are going to have Harvey averaging more than 15 pitches per inning for his first 3 tonight. A 2-1 that Worth pops up right side. Over there is Campbell. He's got room, 2 down. Strasburg a base hit and then a couple of fly balls. Third inning will be up to Bryce Harper. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep.
Look at number 3. Third time around.
Yeah.
But hasn't pitched past the 6th inning, so that has to be a small sample size.
It is. And he only made it 2 times through against the Nats. Coming in only 48.1 innings, 48 1/3 in 9 starts. Bryce hit the ball sharply first time on the ground, right to Neil Walker at second. Harper in the air. Drifting toward left center, Cespedes. So 1-2-3 after the Strasburg base hit. To the middle innings we go. Everybody enjoying a night at the ballpark. Reading up on some of his heroes right there. Visit buyatoyota.com. tonight. High fives. Folks getting together at the ballpark to root for the Nats against the Mets.
They've been waiting for this day weather-wise for a long time.
Free Washington, D.C. And Mother Nature today did.
Yes.
Great. Strasburg 7 of 9 first pitch strikes. 40 pitches, 28 total. PNC looking in on Trey Turner. And when you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. So he's still well over 300. 51 hits, not as many as Daniel Murphy, but he's getting there. Driving the ball, driving them in. And Trey Turner scoring 35 runs. Best of all players in the International League. Curtis Granderson, top of the fourth. Shift is on. Murphy about 20 feet into right field. Strasburg, strike one.
But do you see what Granderson's looking at right there? That's my whole thing with the shift. I mean, he's got so much real estate right back up the middle. It would be hard not to try to hit it there, right? It's so hard to guide the baseball, number one.
Yeah.
And number two today against Steven, it's hard to put it in play. But with the shifts, there's so much room for hits if you can kind of deviate from the norm, so to speak.
0-2.
But I guess you can't, so that's why there's a shift.
Up the middle. There's a shortstop there. Espinosa guns him out if Zimmerman stayed on the bag, and he did. Danny Espinosa retiring a speedy Granderson.
So the shortstop went to the backhand on the second base side of the infield. And the big arm from Espinosa. In case you missed it the other night, he's leading all shortstops this year with a throw of 93.1 miles an hour across the infield.
Yeah, and I heard they made a big deal out of it when Troy Tulowitzki threw 90 on a double play when he was in college. Ironically, at Danny's alma mater, Long Beach State. A school that's also produced Bobby Crosby, Evan Longoria, as far as great infielders. Here's Cabrera.
Well, I guarantee you there's Tulo was before StatCast that he could throw harder than 93 across the diamond. Guaranteed.
Two 2-0. Cabrera steps out. Probably shocked that there's a 2-0 count.
I love when there's a foul ball off the screen. I'm so easily amused up here. But we show that shot and there's a foul ball, I just think it's great.
Fans hitting the deck? Is that what you mean?
No, when the screen shakes, when we're using the RoboCam behind home plate.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
I like watching everybody take cover. Oh, that ball is smoked. That ball heading for the bullpen, and in the bullpen, the Mets lead 1-0. Strasburg gives up his 5th homer of the year. It's Cabrera's 3rd, and that was a rocket.
64th of the year for the Mets. Well, he got into count leverage, got a fastball in the inner half, cheated to get there. What's that mean? Well, he started to swing early. That's exactly where he was looking. Look at the balance by his dribble. Caught her out front, rode her out of the yard.
His 105th career homer. There's Michael Conforto next. Mets broke out on top after the Nationals scored a first-inning run last night with a David Wright 3-run shot, 3rd inning. .82 perfect to the outside edge. 0-2. On the year, Nats have hit 50 homers. Now they've given up 40. Ramos holds on, and that's strikeout number 7. 2 outs with Cespedes coming in. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Well, if you're the Nets, you got to score to win anyways. I mean, that solo home run shouldn't matter a bit in your mind, especially the way Steven Strasburg's pitching here tonight. But it was a nice swing by the Mets shortstop.
That got out of here as quickly as anything we've seen this year. So here's Cespedes. He hit the ball well, lined out to Bryce Harper first time. Into the 8 o'clock hour here on a perfect baseball night at Nationals Park. The Nats are 12-8 at home. The Mets are 13-10 on the road. BCFP DK in the division. New York 11-8. Washington 17-12. Two-time division champions against the league champions from last year. Cespedes will drop one into left field. That's a 7-game hitting streak for him. 10 for his last 23. So Steven Strasburg is not allowed a home run on the road. 5 on the year in 65 innings.
Well, the Mets have won 4 straight at Nats Park. And the reason, not counting tonight, they'd have out-homered the Nats 11-3 in those 4 games.
Target to the outside edge on Neil Walker, who's up there hacking. Hit his 11th of the year last night, going back-to-back with Cespedes in the 5th inning. Up in the zone. Walker didn't like it. Now Vic Carapazza hearing about it from the third base dugout.
It came down.
Yeah, guy's got a big curveball. Don't give up on it. Maybe because of the previous call, he reached for that one. Tampa Bay didn't hit any homers today in their 4-3 win at Miami. So right now the Mets are 1 off the major league lead. Oh, 0-2 pitch with 2 outs again. That one just stayed away.
That one backed up a little bit, meaning it didn't come all the way back for a strike, and I think Carapazza got that one right. Fans want it though; they're into it. Nice. I like to hear that. Strasburg,
Devastating changeup. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 8 on the night. And the homer by former Nat Asdrubal Cabrera puts New York on top. Murphy to lead off again. I don't know what Teddy is showing to various field employees there, holding everything up.
Is he charting pitches? Is it National Take Your Clipboard to Work Day?
Yeah, Teddy's going to win, right?
No.
Not very honest, Abe. Not sure what that was all about, but we're going to the bottom of the 4th.
Another unsolved mystery.
Harvey, 46 pitches, 26 strikes, threw 3. Struck out Murphy first time. Gone to a little more off-speed stuff. Second time around here. So in this at bat, Daniel has not seen a fastball yet. Struck out on high heat first time up, leading off the second. And Murphy to the gap in right center, but my goodness, Granderson was playing about 110 feet off the line. Made it an easy play for him in the gap. After the Mets, the Cardinals will be here. Nats swept them late last month, and along with familiar names like Molina and Matt Carpenter, they've got some new young stars, Steven Piscotty and Aledmys Diaz. They had their outfielder Randall Grichuk walked off the Cubs last night. They'll be here this weekend. Worth looks like he's really impatient for them to get here. Zimmerman, 4-game series. Fox will have the ball game on Saturday night. And by the way, the Cubs dropped a 6th spot on St. Louis in the first inning tonight. Cubs have come back to earth. They've lost 3 in a row. And they're now 5 games up on the Pirates. Harvey to Zimmerman, 1-1. Ryan Bass at left field first time. They tried to jam him, and he lined it cleanly over the shortstop.
Oh, got a good pitch right there. He's been hitting the ball well to the right side recently, and that's probably right where he's looking. 2-1, got a heater away and was right on it. Anytime you see a foul ball go straight back like that, you're telling everybody you're close.
Target in again. Zimmerman to left. See you later. That took a while to come down. He's 2 for 2 against Harvey, and the Nats are back even. Number 6 for Ryan.
I love the camera right there in the dugout steps. That's awesome. Well, one of two things happened right there. He knew that he was close to the fastball and sat on a changeup, or he caught the changeup out front, but the previous pitch was 95. He fouled it straight back. Matt Harvey said, uh-oh, I can't throw that again. He threw him a changeup. Zimmerman caught it out front and tied this game at 1. So a lot of times hitters will do that. They're like, hey, he knows that I'm right on this. I'm going to sit on something soft right here, even a 2-strike count. Great swing by Ryan Zimmerman.
Now a 1-0 pitch to Rendon in there. So Ryan Homer, number 206. 21st RBI of the year. The Nats 51st as a team. And giving the Mets a little dose of their own long ball medicine. Anthony Rendon now 2 balls 1 strike.
Well, the Nats can slug. It just hasn't happened yet. And like I always say, and this is a reason, not an excuse. Nats Park plays huge in April every year when it's cool. And it plays super small so you can play catch-up ball when it gets warm.
Rendon goes deep. See you later. It's 2-1 Washington.
Two low líneas out of here, making it 2-1 Nats. I think that's the 4th time this year the Nats have gone back-to-back jacks.
Anthony Rendon, his 3rd. First career against Harvey. Zimmerman had hit his 2nd career. And look out here if the Buffalo gets something to work with.
Same seats in the Nats dugout. Everybody's scrambling to get right back where they were. Look at that.
And then Harvey bounces one about 3 feet in front of home plate.
Listen to the Nats fans into it. I love it.
They're trying to rattle the New York starter here.
They are.
Everybody knows what's going on.
Little chant of Harvey going on here at Nats Park.
Yeah, I wonder where they learned that.
Maybe Pittsburgh when they were chanting Cueto in the play-in game a couple years ago.
2-0 to Wilson Ramos. Look out here. Danger count. Taking all the way, ball 3.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt, let it rip.
Harvey's now given up 7 home runs this year. Ramos is going to get over the top of it and chop it to the left side for Ty Kelly. 2 outs here in the 4th. Danny Espinosa is next. Well, on a night when Murphy's 0 for 2, Zimmerman's 2 for 2. Spreading the damage around. Espinosa fly ball to right with a couple of men aboard in the 2nd. Showed bunt. Ty Kelly was halfway onto the infield dirt as they play a shift here. Not a full shift, a modified one, but a lot of room out there for bunts.
Yeah, but Danny doesn't bunt it to 3rd. He was bringing that with him. That's his deal, left-handed.
I'd like to see him bunt 3rd base. 2-0.
That's just a comfort thing. He's more comfortable bringing it with him left-handed. And he's trying to turn the lineup over, but now in a 2-0 count, you let it rip.
Yep. He will rip it. The Nats are gashing the ball here in the 4th inning. Murphy's ball was well hit to the gap to lead off the inning, but Granderson was playing out that way. And since then, 3 out of 4 Rockets.
2-0 count. All in on a heater. Catch it out front. Look at him drop his barrel right to the ball. Bat stays in the strike zone a long time. Good at bat by Danny Espinosa, who at least turns the lineup over. But who knows with Steven Strasburg up? He's been swinging it.
Now the Nats have 3 of their 5 hits in the last 4 batters. Strasburg served one over the infield first time up to right field. Long visit here from Dan Warthen, the Mets pitching coach. Rendon's line shot after the towering drive by Zimmerman. Harvey about to throw his 20th pitch of the 4th inning. Strike 1. That's a fair ball.
Yep.
Just came bouncing out right in front of home plate. Plawecki throws him out.
Well, first it was Ryan Zimmerman, went down and got it, the off-speed pitch. That was a no-doubter. Then Anthony Rendon, another off-speed pitch for Matt Harvey. Dusty Baker digging it. Nat saying, you want to slug, Mets? We'll slug.
The next 5 Mets tomorrow night to wrap up this 3-game series. Then St. Louis in for 4. And by the way, tomorrow night, Tanner Roark and left-hander Steven Matz, who's off to a 6-1 start for the Mets. WUSA 9 joins us on Friday. Fox has the Saturday night game. Home run guys back-to-back, Zimmerman and Rendon.
That's $500 to the Children's National Health System. Those guys just donated on behalf of Lexus. For every home run a Nats player hits this season, it's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. In all of my travels to all the ballparks I've ever been to in 27 years of professional baseball, I've never seen a ballpark fluctuate with the temperature and the weather like Nats Park does. Out of all of them, can you name another one that's, I mean, they all play smaller when it's warm,
yeah,
but I've never seen one play bigger when it's cold and play smaller when it's warm.
Wrigley comes to mind, but a different kind of ballpark.
With the wind, yeah. Wind blowing in, wind blowing out. That's a good call.
Don Zimmer once said when he was managing the Cubs, it was like managing in 5 different ballparks between April and September. Kind of went one way, then the other, and then back to the first way. It was crazy. Campbell 2-0. Strasburg gets a strike.
And not taking away anything from those guys, because those balls were hit, but there's so many frustrated hitters in this ballpark in April when it's cool and the ball just dies.
Bryce Harper drifting back for this one. Steven Strasburg looking for the shutdown inning now. Top 5. Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, pulled the ball first time to Anthony Rendon. First pitch, 82, a beauty. Twenty-five-year-old catcher getting just about all of the playing time, with Travis d'Arnaud out with a shoulder injury. Their backup's Rene Rivera. We haven't seen him for one at bat in the season series yet. 1-2 pitch, a chopper came up and hit the batter in the box. Count remains 1-2. So the Nats, look at that series percentage right with Seattle, who's won one more, lost one more. The Nats have had 3 splits. That's what it's all about to get to October. It's all brought to you by PNC for the series winner in you, or the achiever. Straight up. You could hear everybody hollering to Wilson Ramos, who didn't have to go too far. 2 outs.
Cubs with just 2 more wins on the season than the Nats all of a sudden. Nats 27-18, Cubs 29-14, Giants 28-19.
Nobody in the American League more than 27. The White Sox, who the Nats will see in a couple of weeks. Here's Ty Kelly, struck out looking on a nasty Strasburg pitch under his hands, first time up.
You know, even though the Nats got swept by the Cubs at Wrigley, you left there thinking, oh, you know, they probably should have taken 1 or 2, but you also left there thinking the Nats played him pretty well.
Yeah.
And when you play him again, it's not like you're going to sit there and go, uh-oh, the Cubs are coming into town. They went toe-to-toe with them. They just lost those games. Cubs were white hot. They could do no wrong. Plus, they have a really good team. I'm looking forward to the rematch.
Tanner Roark tomorrow. And the Nats thought they had Jake Arrieta. Swing and a miss on 88 away. Strikeout number 9. So bottom 5 coming up. Our Freight Railworks do-up, starting off with Ben Revere. He's on once in 2 plate appearances tonight. The Igniter Revere straight ahead.
Harper due up third this inning, 0 for 2 so far today. Been scuffling a little bit as of late, and as FP and Bob mentioned earlier, Bryce has been doing a lot of extra hitting before and after games to try and get out of this little funk lately. I talked to hitting coach Rick Shue earlier today. He said he wants Bryce to stay through the ball and extend so he doesn't run out of barrel. He also really wants him to attack the ball, be aggressive. He's kind of in between right now, feeling for it, says Rick Shue. And Dusty has a drill when he wants hitters to stay through the ball with 2 tees, one maybe a foot in front of the other. The goal is to hit the back ball to try and get it to hit the front ball. That's something that he advises hitters to do. The Nats in general just wanting Bryce to try and stay through the ball right now, keep that barrel through it.
All right, thanks, Dan. Hopefully a couple of guys on base for him. Revere and Worth ahead of Harper. Bottom 5, and that's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Don't miss incredible Coons Memorial Day savings, and they've already started going on right now. Ben Revere puts a charge into one, and that's over the head of Cespedes. Gonna one-hop the wall. Cespedes up with it. And Ben Revere muscles up to hit a ball about 400, slightly opposite field.
So we showed you that stat, third time around the league's hitting .510 off Matt Harvey, and this is the third time around. It starts off with a ringing double off the bat of Ben Revere. Stayed through the ball nice. Cespedes turned over the wrong shoulder, then tried to find the right shoulder. Too late. Ball was hit pretty far by Ben Revere. That was what? Almost 400 feet away.
So 26 for 50. Opponents against Harvey now, the third time around. An amazing batting average of .520. Worth needs to move the runner or drive him in. Jason takes a strike on a heater away. Harvey started this 5th inning with 67 pitches, 37 strikes. Ratio, not that great. Now .520 on 26 for 50. Only one batter recently without Harvey off the stretch. The Nats has just kind of had him out of his rhythm tonight. Getting some leadoff guys on, or at least some after 1 out as well. Worth will pull it, and that's through. So Revere, who had to hold up, will be able to go to third as Jason Worth checks in with a base hit. First and third, nobody out. Next up, Harper.
Yeah, Ben Revere had to wait and see if that was getting through, because if he dives and gets that, he's out at third. Or maybe even second if he gets caught in no man's land. So good read by Ben Revere. Nice swing by Jason Worth. And all of a sudden, Matt Harvey is being solved by the Nationals. Daniel Murphy, Ryan Zimmerman, Anthony Rendon, Daniel Espinoza, Ben Revere.
Everybody wants
Worth
to be Daniel right now.
Yes. I figure if you hit it that hard, you got to call him Daniel, don't you?
This is a huge at bat in this game for the Nats, for Bryce, for Harvey. 2-1 Washington. 2 aboard, nobody out, middle of the game. The Nats had 2 hits in the first 3 innings. Now they've had 5 among the last 7 batters. So Hansel Robles gets working. Nasty pitch, inside edge.
But even Bryce said after facing Matt Harvey last time, it's different hitting 97, 98 than it is 92, 94. Just your reaction time's a lot less. But he also said that, you know, Matt Harvey pitched a lot of big games for the Mets last year, and he felt bad for him.
Nissan tracking strike 1 there. Target now the other side. Harper to center. Cespedes going back. in front of the track. Revere scores. The Nats lead 3-1. Bryce Harper delivers RBI number 31.
I'll tell you what, that swing by Bryce Harper, he's close. When he starts hitting it far to left center field, he's starting to lock in. So a sac fly, a good at-bat, scores Ben Revere, makes it 3-1. But the swing itself is really, really close. So whatever he did last night after the game, early today, that was the best swing we've seen in a while.
That is Bryce Harper's first career RBI against Matt Harvey. And what a good time for it.
It's Bryce O. Harper, Carp, with the shamrock on his bat. Swinging the shillelagh.
Here's Murphy. Hit the ball on the button last time. But as I mentioned, Curtis Granderson was playing more than 100 feet off the right field line. And he is again trying to cut off that gap toward the scoreboard. Worth at first, one out. Outside to Murph. Nearing 80 now with one out, fifth inning. Worth running. There it goes from Murphy. See you later. The Nats lead 5-1.
Oh my goodness. That ball was kissed. Daniel Murphy, upper deck. Got a piece of cheese 94 miles an hour and turned it around. And the home runs keep coming. You want to slug? We'll slug.
Mezzanine above the bullpen. Here comes Ryan Zimmerman, who got this long ball party started his last time up. The Nats have out-hit the Mets 8-2 and lead 5-1.
Boy, how about that stat third time around? It's coming to fruition again here tonight.
Yeah, the Nats are 3 for 3 with a sac fly.
Well, yeah.
So Murphy now, 2 home runs against his ex-teammate. 4 RBIs on 2 swings. 2-0 to Zimmerman. Look out here. Straight up it goes out toward right field into the twilight. Granderson sees it, and he has it for the second out. Anthony Rendon next, and he jacked one out of here last time.
Well, let's show me that home run again. You know, Murph's had some good ones this year, but this wins. Fastball was supposed to be away, inner half. Look at the reaction from Daniel Murphy, kind of shuffling down the first baseline. You can't hit him any better than that, folks. That one was pured. Like I said, he's gone from a pesky hitter to a presence in the lineup. If you're playing the Nats, you know exactly where Daniel Murphy is at all times.
That gets him up to 30 RBIs, 1 behind Bryce Harper. 7th homer for Murphy. Rendon up the middle. Harvey got a piece of it. Unbelievable play by Cabrera.
Wow.
With the bare hand having to change directions. 1-6-3 with a big star next to the 6.
We're going to wait a second. Thought he was out from way up here, but we'll see. Let's look at it real quick. Tough to tell right there, right?
Yeah, it looked like the ball was in the glove. Very close. Amazing play by the former Nat Asdrubal Cabrera, but Murphy the star of that inning. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Clayton Kershaw keeps chugging along for the Dodgers. 5-0 this month. ERA ridiculous. He's gone the distance 3 times. Johnny Cueto has gone the distance 3 times against San Diego for the Giants. And our old friend Ian Desmond really warming things up. Good for him for the Texas Rangers. They bat for Harvey. 1 pitch. Matt Reynolds lines out. Top of the 6th underway.
I'll tell you what, the New York media was here in droves today, and it was all sharks in the water smelling blood for Matt Harvey's outing today. And if you remember, after his last outing, that's all they talked about for a week. What should they do with Matt Harvey? His manager gave him a chance to skip a start. He said, no, I got to keep going, and the Nats got him again here tonight.
Granderson and Cabrera now top of the order. Steven Strasburg just threw his 80th pitch. Harvey threw 84, just 49 strikes, and the Nats got him for 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings.
And I don't care who you are or how long you play, this game will humble you. Right when you think you got it figured out, it will humble you every single time, and twice on Sunday.
Strasburg throwing the 82 hook for strike 2. So now the focus on Steven to try to get through the rest of this evening as deep into the game as he can. Averaging just over 15 pitches per inning. Granderson, check swing. Bill Welke says no swing.
So weird. They call this a no swing, but if he hits it against the shift, it's a knock because Anthony Rendon's playing, and that's a swing.
Yeah, he went. 2-2. He went off speed on a 3-2 pitch, and Granderson is aboard. Strasburg, first walk tonight. He's only given up 2 hits. So their box score, Strasburg retired the first 10 batters of the game before Cabrera homered. 1 out later, Cespedes a base hit to left. And until that walk, Yoenis was their most recent base runner. Cabrera got a 7-game hitting streak with that homer. He's 9 for 25 during his streak. And a swing and a foul tip on the heater.
Well, almost the same pitch he hit out, except for it was more to the outer half of the plate. You see, he's got that pull swing going tonight. He's looking for that heater in. He cheated to get to it last time, shot it out of here. That one had good location by Steven Strasburg.
Been nibbling at that outside corner in this inning. Here's a stat for you. That walk by Strasburg, the first by a Nats pitcher since Saturday.
Wow.
At Miami.
And it's not like they got, you know, a bunch of thumbers on their staff, a bunch of power pitchers. Even Gio's still hit 92, 93. So, I mean, you see that kind of stuff with guys that throw 88 to 91, not with guys that throw 95 to 98.
2-2 to Cabrera. Swing and a miss. As Jubal Cabrera, who homered last time, looked quite late there. 2 outs.
26th time, there it is. It's becoming my favorite Steven Strasburg stat. Double-digit strikeouts again for the Nats right-hander.
We are updating that every 5 days,
yeah.
It seems. Conforto has struck out swinging twice. Cespedes on deck. Nats up by 4. They'd love to see him leading off the 7th. Murphy just into right field on the shift. Solidly hit high in the air. Ben Revere in front of the wall. He reached for it, never felt it, and ended up with plenty of room.
Welcome to Coors Field, everybody. Ball's flying tonight. The sound with Dusty Baker right there is like he was watching a 4th of July fireworks show. Here's your Mercedes-Benz game summary. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington. Visit them at www.justmercedes.com. 5-1 Nationals. Ball flying out of the yard tonight. Matt Harvey hit a lot of barrels. Dusty Baker liking the way his boys are swinging it.
Hanso Robles takes over for the Mets here. It'll be his 22nd appearance. Good ERA, 1.27. 20 innings, 23 strikeouts. He's 25 years of age from the Dominican. And first up against him will be Wilson Ramos, who's 0 for 1 against him career.
And keep your head up. Watch out for the quick pitch.
Nats box. Couple of hits, couple of walks until the 4th inning when Ryan Zimmerman went deep with 1 out. Rendon back to back. And then in the 5th, Revere ignites it with a double. Worth a base hit. Harper a sac fly. And then Murphy, the 2-run mammoth shot to the mezzanine in right field. Off speed, Ramos to 3rd. Ty Kelly for the first out.
Oh, yes, it's Ladies Night, June 30th. Nats celebrate Ladies Night. Special ticket, enjoy pregame activities, including trivia, a player appearance, a DJ, fashion show, tailgate games, and a visit from the racing presidents. Those guys are always getting numbers, by the way. You also receive an exclusive Nationals Infinity scarf before the Nats take on the Reds at 7:05. To purchase your special tickets, visit nationals.com/Ladies Night. All right. Lots of stuff going on at the ballpark.
Here's Danny Espinosa, 1 for 2. And even though it's a new pitcher now, Danny Espinosa, 4 for 8 career against Matt Harvey. Against Robles, 0 for 3.
Just feels like baseball weather tonight. Maybe the first time all year, really.
One. So Robles' repertoire from 85 to start the inning to 95 there. 1 ball, 2 strikes with Strasburg on deck.
A 3-pitch guy, fastball, slider, change. Fastball usually around 94. Occasional change. Slider's the out pitch. Danny wants to get hit in the tricep tonight. He's trying to. His thing is, if you're coming in with 2 strikes, I ain't moving.
Two with 1 out. Espinosa, foul tip into the mid of Plawecki. And now the Mets pitching staff has a chance for its first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Steven 1 for 2 tonight, 5 hits on the year. Out of 25 at bat, so he's hitting 200. And he hits one out to right center. Ball tailing away from Cespedes. And he makes a diving, tumbling, rolling catch.
The Mets have made some great plays tonight on defense. Look at this effort. Selling out. Cespedes with an amazing catch.
Brought to you by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. By visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. By Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off. And by your Washington, D.C. BMW centers. Visit WashingtonDCBMW.com tonight for exceptional offers. 5-8-0 Nationals. 1-2-0 Mets. Pitching comparison, no contest. Never before had Matt Harvey started a game and struck out just one batter. That was Murphy, of all people, swinging to lead off the second.
If you throw 92, 94 at the big league level, and he did hit 95, 96 a few times tonight, your off speed better be exploding, nasty, filthy. And for Matt Harvey, I think maybe the bigger problem is his off speed stuff, because it's been flat the two times we've seen him this year.
Front door in the off speed, Cespedes jumping all over it. And the count 0-2. Strasburg threw 6, 85 pitches, 58 strikes.
That's where you really try to expand with Cespedes. And I think Steven has been so good this year at throwing balls when he wants to. Something that's not easy for pitchers to learn. See Ramos putting his glove. He wants this in the dirt.
Yeah, didn't get it there. Cespedes into left, digging for a couple. Tell you, this guy is something else. All the interest he got from the Mets, the Nats, and other ball clubs during the offseason certainly warranted. He is a big-time difference maker.
Well, look how long his bat stays in the strike zone. I mean, he throws his hands down there, and look at him extend. That bat's in the zone forever. So why is Cespedes a good low ball hitter? Because look at his bat. It's in the zone a lot longer than most hitters, maybe more than most hitters. We said he's a good low ball hitter. Steven wanted to bounce that. He didn't, and Cespedes picked it up right off the plate. Man, he's a good player.
Yeah. He made a fantastic catch a moment ago. He has 4 outfield assists, and they move him back some between center and left, back and forth. And then, of course, all the offensive talent. 11 for 24 now during his hitting streak. Neil Walker struck out by Strasburg twice tonight.
They say make a great play, lead off the next inning. Happens all the time.
That's going to drop. Cespedes holding up for just a count or two. Worth returns it. First and third, nobody out. The Mets have 4 hits tonight, and they've put hits together twice.
Don't forget, Steven threw 113 pitches last start against the Mets at Citi Field. He's at 90 right now, 63 of those for strikes. Pretty much been on cruise control tonight. But now he's got to work out of a jam here in the 7th.
Eric Campbell 0 for 2. He's up there hacking, looking for his 3rd RBI of the year. Nationals will gladly concede a run for a double play ball here.
Mike Maddox on the horn. He's a little action in the Nats bullpen all of a sudden. It's a good call. It's like Felipe Rivero getting his jacket off, taking his jacket off. I think you're getting your jacket off when it's a straight jacket. But when it's a normal jacket, you're taking it off, right?
I believe you're right. 1-1 to Campbell. Strasburg challenges him. Can they turn it? Murphy, not even close.
Was there contact at second base?
Yeah, Walker kind of got in the grill of Daniel Murphy there. A run scores, whatever happens. It's now 5-2.
Daniel Murphy's saying, take a look at it, Skipper. I saw some contact on the slide. It wasn't much, though, but who knows with today's rules what's in and what's not. I mean, he slid straight to the base. No, I think that's a reach, but we'll see. Well, here comes Dusty Baker. Oh, they're going to the headsets.
They are.
Somebody's yelling at Daniel Murphy from the Mets dugout, and he's like, why not try? Why not? Who knows what they're going to see or say? Look, he's trying to show what happened. I mean, maybe DeGrom chirping at him. Come on, Murph. Really?
Crew chief John Hirschbeck.
I didn't see anything. I really didn't. Unless he popped up at the end. But what are you supposed to do at the base?
Yeah.
I mean, Nats will take it if they get it, obviously, and that's what they're trying to do. But do you see anything here that impedes Murphy's progress at turning the double play?
Not really. Ball really away before there was any.
He touched him in the calf on the slide. And Neil Walker's a second baseman, so he no, it's just one out.
Yeah. 6-4 in the fielder's choice. And that gets Eric Campbell an RBI. I mean, if they would call that interference, you might as well reinstitute the neighborhood play.
Dusty saying out at second, out at first, out at second, safe at first. You just said out. I need to know what you meant by that. Does that mean it's a double play? What are we doing here? Got to be careful about messing up Steven Strasburg's rhythm right now, too. He's a rhythm pitcher when he gets in a flow. You don't want to disrupt that.
Runner at first, one out, a run home, Kevin Plawecki, the catcher. He's bounced out to third, fouled out to the catcher.
So many rules. Can you imagine first and third, you're up by 1 with 1 out. It's game 7 of the World Series and the double play isn't turned, but then they go to review and the slide was just a little bit off and it's questionable. They call the double play and then the other team wins the World Series. That's what I always go to. Yeah. And if it comes down to that, heaven help us all.
Yeah. Shades of the USA-Russia basketball game in the Olympics decades ago when they couldn't decide how to end a game. 2-0 with 1 out. Strike. Strasburg just got the corner there. If that goes to 3-0, things get a little interesting here. 7th inning, the Nats lead 5-2. And he jams Plawecki into a foul ball. Up-to-date numbers as we go inside with Jeep. National League strikeout leaders, Kershaw on quad a roll. Strasburg with 10 tonight. 1 more than his teammate Max Scherzer, who will next pitch against St. Louis. What a rotation that is, those 5. Two with 1 out. 3-2.
Pretty close. Probably outside. Just held on to it a hair too long. Tried to run it back actually, but just misses. Look at all those pitches. They're all close. Not easy takes by any means for Plawecki.
Campbell, the runner at first. Medium lead. He's holding. And Strasburg walks Plawecki. And you hope that pause didn't throw everything out of whack for him.
Well, it might have. He's a rhythm guy, and now he had to stand around. He could be tired. I think that last pitch, number 99, is a big sign to Dusty Baker that he might be getting a little tired. We haven't seen him miss like that yet tonight.
Yeah, here comes Mike Maddox. You saw Felipe Rivero craning his neck to look over the outfield fence to see what was happening. So it's Ty Kelly playing in his first big league game with 2 on 1 out. 7th inning of a 3-run game.
Well, this is what Dan was talking about, I think last night in one of his reports, how Dusty Baker's letting his pitchers pitch. The 100 pitch count doesn't mean a thing to him, and I think Mike Maddox would say the same thing. How many pitches were out of the stretch? How many pitches were high-stress pitches? When does he have the red line to get out of a jam? All those things taken into consideration, but this is uncharted water for Steven Strasburg. In this instance, he's used to being taken out of a game. Now Dusty Baker's letting him fight out of his own jam.
He bolts a fastball to the outside edge. He has struck out Kelly looking twice. Strikeout number 5 in the 3rd, number 9 in the 5th.
Just missed, huh?
Perfect pitch, really. If you're looking for a ground ball, it was a really good pitch. Juan Lagares on deck in the 9 spot. Here's a 1-1. It bounces, and a great job by Wilson Ramos to keep the double play in order.
Yeah, good play by Ramos. Like you said, watch him get in front of this and block it with his body. A lot of times he'll try to swipe it with his glove. Nice stop using that big frame of his. Steven Strasburg is hoping for one more pitch and a ground ball somewhere.
Right now, Vic Carapazza giving him that outside edge. And the count goes to 2-2.
Fans trying to help Steven Strasburg do his personal finish line here.
And the rookie hanging tough. Harper shallow and right. Espinosa tapping a glove near the runner at second. There's a little tapper that goes foul.
Doc Kelly's fighting. I mean, however this works out, I just like the fact that Dusty Baker lets his pitchers figure it out. Where, 100% of your focus on getting out of the jam, not 60% on getting out of the jam, 40% looking over my shoulder. Am I coming out of this game? Is he coming to get me? I mean, these guys know right now it's their ball game. So where's their focus? On what needs to be done to get out of the jam.
2-2 with one out. Foul tip. Eric Campbell at second reached on the RBI fielder's choice. Then Plawecki walked. This all started with a Cespedes double and a Neil Walker single. Swing and a foul tip into Ramos mitt. Strikeout number 11.
But did you see that shot of Dusty Baker? He was asking Wilson Ramos, does he have anything left? That was a great look. He was looking at Wilson going, what do you think? Does he have anything left? Do you like him against Lagares right here? He was asking his catcher about his pitcher. That was a great shot.
Juan Lagares, and Strasburg gets maybe a final breather from Ramos here, is 2 for 12 against Steven with 5 strikeouts. But here comes Dusty.
Well, he must have not liked what he saw from Wilson.
And the interesting thing is, the guy who would come in would be a lefty in Felipe Rivero. You're going to hear some kind of thunderous ovation for Steven Strasburg, who lasted a whole lot longer than his opponent in D.C. tonight. presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Well, a good night for Steven Strasburg. A chance to go 8-0. Felipe Rivero gets the call here. And Dusty doesn't mind going a little unorthodox here and there. Lefty reliever to a right-handed pitcher, or rather hitter. And for Felipe, 23rd appearance of the year.
Well, look at righties are hitting against him. That's why. 140.
Yeah, and Juan Lagares has never faced him. That's way outside.
Plus, 97, 98 plays. Doesn't matter what side you're hitting on. So I think Felipe is going to be a big-time closer someday. He's definitely not a matchup guy with that stuff.
1-0 count. Bang goes the heater. .5-2 ball game, tying a run in the batter's box. And Lagares overmatched there on 86.
Filthy change.
Since the 9th of May, we're going back 2 weeks now, a half run a game, earned runs, striking people out all over the place. Nearly a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Bottom line is the big one. Lagares 3 for 9 as a pinch hitter this year. And Rivero has him 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul.
Pretty good crowd tonight. They've been lively.
One and two again. Swing and a miss on 87. 12 strikeouts by the Nats tonight. Rivero goes off speed, and everybody will be stretching at Nationals Park. 5-2 home team.
See, let's go back to the 4th inning. Zim got the party started. A foul ball straight back. Why are they showing you that? Because the next pitch was a changeup from Matt Harvey. Drove it out of the ballpark, made this 1-0, lit up the crowd here at Nats Park. Jose Lobaton, helmet taker offer guy. Nats dugout on fire. Anthony Rendon would go deep right behind him for back-to-back jacks. And Dusty Baker having a chat with his big right-hander. Bryce Harper, pat on the chest. Nice going, Steven Strasburg.
He looks like a man who left it all out on the mound tonight, doesn't he?
He does.
He would be 8-0. ERA would go down. Here's Antonio Bastardo for the Mets, 30-year-old lefty, longtime Philly.
Yeah, fastball slider change. Fastball averaging 91 miles an hour, 18th appearance. Opponent's hitting 197 against the Mets left-hander.
And he's in there because Revere and Harper bat around Worth here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ben Revere 2 for 3 with an RBI career against Bastardo.
Dusty Baker would love an answer to the Mets run in the top of the 7th.
Strasburg, by the way, 108 pitches, 74 strikes. That ball rifled right field line and foul by a foot or two.
You know how you know it was close? Ben Revere ran. If you're ever at the ball game, don't watch the baseball, watch the hitter. He'll tell you if it's fair or foul right out of the gate. And that was close. Just a hair foul. That had 3 bags written all over it.
Revere on base twice tonight. First inning walk, 5th inning double, and a run. He ignited that rally. Scored on the Harper sac fly to tie the game before Ryan Zimmerman actually added. It was an add-on run there before Murphy capped off that inning with a 2-run homer. Nats went into that frame ahead 2-1 on the Zimmerman and Rendon long balls. And Revere launches one to right. This ball to the bullpen, gone. Ben Revere, first homer of the year, number 5 in his major league career. And the Nats get that run right back and lead 6-2.
Did you just say number 5 in his big league career?
I'm looking at it.
So that's no small feat right there by Ben Revere. First home run of the season, 5th of his career. And the ball is absolutely flying out of Nats Park tonight. Ben Revere with a homer. Come on.
That ball was roasted.
Yeah, Daniel Murphy. Ben Revere hit one.
The Nats 4 homers on the night. Here's Jason Worth. And he goes down the left field line. This will be close and foul into the corner.
Well, we got to show Ben Revere's homer again. Come on, anytime a little guy hits a homer, we got to show it a million times. Look at the location mistake, left on left, not a problem for Ben Revere. He hit the ball about 395 feet his last time up for a double. This one he pulls into the Nats bullpen to make it 6-2, and there's your answer for the run in the top of the 7th by the Mets.
Revere on base 3 times tonight, 6 total bases with the 2 swings of the bat double homer. And then Jason Worth takes one low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. 95 on the hit speed.
Didn't Dusty Baker on the road trip say something about his team being a warm weather ball club?
He did. That was in New York last week. He said that.
They're getting the rips.
Now the Nats have hit 54 home runs on the year.
Tater, 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 tater. Love it.
Target inner half. Worth reaches out and pops one to left. Michael Conforto on the way for the first out, 7th inning. With more on Ben Revere, here's Dan.
Bob, you mentioned Ben Revere only has 5 home runs in his entire big league career. Well, it took him a long time to get that first one. 1,466 at-bats until he notched that first career long ball. It happened in May of 2014, and he joked to reporters after the game, I'm going to try and get 400 more.
Well, he put on a power show last year, Dan. He hit 2 in one season, one with the Phillies, one with Toronto.
Oh, Bryce trying to join the party here. The Tater Fiesta.
Now remember, the Nats had 4 homers in 1 inning at Miami. Well, tonight's 4 homers in a ball game ties that for the season high. Bryce has hit the ball hard twice in 3 trips. 0 for 2 with the sac fly. His 31st RBI.
Seems like he's gathering himself a little bit slower, talking about Bryce. His leg kick, he get a little jumpy throughout this spell he's had. And he just seems to, his lower half seems slower. That last swing he took last time up, he's close.
Harper career 2 for 14 against Antonio Bastardo. Slowed down his bat there with a changeup at 82 or a breaking ball. 2 outs now with Daniel Murphy coming up. Potomac Nationals back in Woodbridge, and they will be for the next week or so. So on the 27th, there's a Lucas Giolito t-shirt giveaway. On the 28th, the Harper MVP bobblehead and Bark in the Park on the 29th. You know the number, you know the website. Check it out. Head down south. Murphy 1 for 3 with a home run. Cordial exchange with Vic Carapazza. I talked to Rick Shue around the case today. I asked him, after watching Murphy for a quarter of a season, what really sticks out to you? He said a lot of the same things you've said about Murphy throughout the year. Every at-bat has a plan. He comes to the ballpark totally prepared and then just grinds it out 4 to 5 times a night.
And that's not to say that other guys don't, because they do. Every single guy in this field grinds it out, but Murphy takes it to a different level. I mean, the way he breaks up quadrants of the plate in the strike zone and the exact little square he's looking for the baseball in and trying to get off his ace swing when the ball comes across that little cube he's looking in.
It's another 2-hit night for Daniel Murphy. 23rd time this year he's done it, the most in all of baseball.
I feel like you could make that your ringtone at home, you saying that. It's another 2-hit night for Daniel Murphy. Hello? I mean, it seems like every night's a 2-hit night for Daniel Murphy. Look at him extend right there off the end. Whether he hits the barrel, the handle, the end of the bat, he just keeps his bat in the strike zone so long. Same thing we were saying about Cespedes early.
Murph back up to .392 with the batting average. Ryan Zimmerman's had a big night. Out of everything that's happened offensively in this game, and we're talking 6 runs on 10 hits, one of the biggest headlines should be the night Ryan Zimmerman's having, with the continued brilliance of Rendon right behind him. All over that one, well, the count's 0-2.
A long ways to go in this one. Well, not really. But I think the A headlines will be about Matt Harvey, because everybody loves to tear down a hero and loves the negative. So that'll be number 1. Number 2 will be Steven Strasburg. And I think number 3 is exactly what you're talking about. Oh, 2 pitch.
Ball skipping into Kevin Plawecki. On the move, Murphy. Quite a jump, but Zimmerman strikes out. The inning's over. But the Nats get that run right back. Ben Revere, 5th career home run. The Nats, 6-2.
In, starting to drive the ball, and over the last 8 games now, Ben Revere has 9 hits, and he's really igniting some things for this offense.
Well, what did we say early on? He missed a month of the season. He hurt his oblique on the first swing of the year, and he's got a lot of moving parts to his swing. That big hitch, the big leg kick, he's jumping at the pitcher. That's going to take a minute to time guys up, especially when everyone's been playing for a month already, and they're throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. It's just like I always say, jumping in the fast lane with a slow car. Ben Revere is finally the fast car. He's got his rhythm, his timing, and he's a dangerous weapon, like you said, at the plate.
So to the top of the 8th we go. Felipe Rivero still in the game. Lefty-lefty matchup with Curtis Granderson. He drives it up the middle. Because of the shift, it's not a base hit, and that's the second time that's happened to Granderson tonight with Danny Espinosa throwing him out.
Starting to come around to that shift thing.
Yeah, you like it.
Well,
now.
that's a backhand play for Daniel Murphy, going away from first base, thrown across his body to get Curtis Granderson, or a routine ground ball to shortstop.
Sean Kelly for the Nats.
I feel like in this city it's okay to change your opinion whenever you want, right?
Sure. November's a long way away.
Everybody else does it. Why can't I?
Here's Cabrera. As Drew below for 1 career against Rivero. Strike call. Cabrera 1 for 3. 2 Ks against Strasburg, a home run in between that actually put the Mets on top in the 4th inning, 1-0. Before the Nats had an immediate answer for that, and then 3 more in the 5th.
I think I saw something, Carp, on the Mariners today that straight up opponents were hitting 279 against them, and in the shift it was almost 100 points less.
Well, it's not going away. I hear a lot of chatter on the radio today, different people saying, get rid of the shift. Strike call on a fastball, inner half, and Felipe Rivero strikes out Cabrera, who was turning away from that pitch.
It looked like a pretty good pitch to me initially. What does pitch track think? Yeah, it's right there. Inner half.
Two outs in the 8th.
You just start getting better sources, by the way. The radio, the media room, we got to get you locked into scouts and stuff.
No, I mean, this was a baseball insider talking about this stuff. You know, this wasn't a call. You know, and there's been some talk about it. He made the point, well, Curtis Granderson's a 240 hitter. You could make him a 260 hitter. Let Curtis or anybody else do that themselves. Make them earn it.
Is that how the guy sounded?
No, that's what I said. That was my reaction.
Wait, what did he sound like again?
Hey. Cespedes to lead off the 9th if Felipe gets the job done here. And that would be fine with all of us in a 4-run game. 0-2 pitch. And a ball served left field line. Slicing foul.
Not in the stands, no problemo. Text Nationals to 29292 for your in-game alerts that you just can't miss. Bring the Nats Park action to your phone. That's Nationals to 29292. Like tonight, for instance, you would have seen a lot of home runs pop up on your phone and a lot of strikeouts from Steven Strasburg.
Well, the Phillies are down 3-0 at Detroit. Nats have the Mets down by 4. Could be a good night for them in the division. Miami lost today. And Felipe Rivero continues to dominate from the bullpen. He's retired 4 in a row. Couple of strikeouts. This ball game into the bottom of the 8th inning. Right now it's all Nats against their pursuers, the Mets.
Earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. We're going to show you some home runs. Why not? It's been the story of this game for the Nats. Ryan Zimmerman, we showed you that one already. Change up for Matt Harvey, almost over the bullpen. Then Anthony Rendon right behind him. His 3rd of the year, a low liner over the bullpen. This one was a bomb. Daniel Murphy with the shuffle down the first baseline. Upper tank Murph, let's call that one. And then let's hear it for the little guy. Ben Revere's 5th career home run, first as a Washington National. Give it some love above. I mean, it's just been a perfect night to hit. It really has.
Bottom 8, Anthony Rendon. 33-year-old right-hander Jim Henderson. Nats have seen him in the past with Milwaukee. Did not pitch last year. Anthony Rendon, 1-for-1 career against him. Kind of a long arm delivery from the lanky right-hander who goes 6'5", 220. Pretty good slider. Rendon had to reach to get a piece of it. Johnny and Ray are in the yard tonight. And when this one's over, they'll have a lot to talk about on the Nats Extra postgame show, presented by W.B. Mason.
They had a couple missiles flying at him on the set tonight. Pretty close.
Anthony Rendon, his body went around, so did the bat. 1 out. Wilson Ramos is next. 1-for-1 with a couple of RBIs against Henderson. Wilson has hit the ball on the ground 3 times tonight. Almost got a base hit to right back in the second. Walker took one away, and then 2 bouncers to third. Ramos launches one, left center, bullpen, yes! 5 homers tonight, and it's 7-2.
You remember that stat I gave earlier in the game? The Mets have won 4 straight at Nats Park. They've out-homered the Nats 11-3. So counting tonight, make that 12-8 all of a sudden. In the last 5 games at Nats Park, it was a one-sided affair in home runs. After tonight, not so much, 12-8.
Nats have 5 for the first time since May 8th of 15 here against the Braves. And Espinosa launches one to right. It'll be run down on the track by Granderson. 2 outs.
I'm homer happy. I stood up on that one too. Let's see Wilson Ramos. I mean, some of these are showing up on the radar at DCA. They're hit so far. Ramos with his 5th of the year, and it's a nice salvage too. He's 0 for 3. Now he's 1 for 4 with a home run. Now horns up to Jose Lobaton, helmet taker offer guy. Nats are trotting around the pillows tonight.
Here's Clint Robinson. He wants to join the party. He goes up hacking. Robinson 0 for 1 career against the right-hander Jim Henderson. Hanso Robles, the only Mets pitcher who hasn't given up a homer tonight. Looks like the 9th will belong to Sean Kelly. 2-2 to Clint. Into right field. That's Neil Walker out there. That's it for the Nats, but another run via the long ball. Wilson Ramos goes deep. 7-2 Nats. The Nats now put themselves in a position for a series win. Tanner Roark, 5-0, 3.05 career ERA against the Mets. Steven Matz is off to a great season. 6-1, 2.81, and the Nats will face him for the first time ever. We've heard about the lefty. Now we get to see him tomorrow, and that's a 105 first pitch. Johnny and Ray at 12:30, and there's all your home run hitters from tonight.
That's the homer bunch. Jan, Marcia, Cindy, Peter, and Greg. Sorry, Bobby. You didn't go deep.
Here's Sean Kelly, 3 outs to get.
My fastball slider. Fastball's been 90 to 92. Usually stays away primarily to right-handers with the fastball, then tries to expand with the slider.
Cespedes 2 for 3, 7-game hitting streak now. 9 for his last 24. Kelly goes after him, misses up and in, 2-1. Breaking ball, Cespedes waited for it, skies it to left center. Ben Revere, 1 out. It's kind of unusual how there have been so many one-sided games in this season series so far.
I'm officially declaring tonight my favorite night at the ballpark so far this year, at Nats Park. It's a great weather day. Ball flying. Steven Strasburg doing his thing.
Pretty complete ball game for the Nats.
Yeah.
Neil Walker 1 for 3. And again, Sean Kelly 0 for 1 career.
Didn't know what the president's race was. Perfect.
Slider right in there. Bullpen continues to be outstanding. 16 pitches, 12 strikes for Felipe Rivero, who retired 4 batters in a row. Kelly misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And tonight's game appears to be continuing that trend of the starting pitcher in every game this year, all 10 of them in 5 games for both ball clubs, getting the decision. So some of the Mets, like Harvey and Colon once, knocked out relatively early in their starts. Others pitching deep enough into ball games, and Strasburg about to go 2-0 against the Mets this year. 3-2 with 1 out. Way inside. Eric Campbell is next, 0 for 3 with an RBI ground ball. Kelly just missing away. Campbell facing the Nats right-hander for the first time. It's a good slider, low and away.
Pitching down, looking for that ground ball to end it.
Nats are about to win the 14th straight time that Steven Strasburg starts, and the 21st time in the last 23 he has started. Amazing numbers keep rolling along. I mean, we're talking about a guy who a month and 2 weeks from now could be headed to the All-Star game. Not to jinx anything, but that's how good Steven is.
Not jinx anything.
I mean, it's about time he gets some due on that count. That ball down the left field line, hooking away from Worth, and it looks like a home run. Eric Campbell sneaks one over the wall just to the right of the 336 mark, and suddenly this is a 7-4 game. Kelly threw a breaking ball to Neil Walker and walked him with 1 out, and then a home run by Campbell. And if the Mets get 1 base runner, this becomes a save situation. With that in mind, Papelbon's up and throwing.
Hey, I just got out of here barely, but it's playing like Coors Field tonight. I mean, Dusty Baker can't take any chances.
Kevin Plawecki will be the hitter. So if he reaches in any way, Jonathan Papelbon will be in this game in a hurry. Sean Kelly just gave up the first runs charged to him this season. 1-0 and a strike, 1-1. Ty Kelly next in the number 8 spot. The Mets still have Alejandro De Aza available if it gets to the 9 hole. David Wright's in the dugout. Kelly jams Plawecki and fouls him off.
I'd say, keep the ball down tonight, but it doesn't matter. Guys are golfing them out of here. Guys are getting on top of it. It doesn't matter. If you hit the barrel tonight and you have the right trajectory, you got a good chance of shooting one in the bleachers.
Fastball, he threw it by him, 2 outs. 1 o'clock tomorrow, sunny, 82 degrees. It could be going then, too.
It's a big strikeout. I mean, this game's not over by any means until that last out is recorded. So Sean Kelly doing his thing, and you know, a guy that's known for his slider, I'm really liking his fastball a lot.
Kelly has struck out 3 times tonight in his major league debut.
One of these guys is spelling their name wrong. I don't know who. I'm going to say the guy in the white jersey is spelling his name right.
(2-0) Kelly to Kelly. Bouncing ball. Murphy. The Nats have split the series so far with the Mets, setting up a rubber game and a chance for a series win tomorrow. Lots of power. Great pitching by Strasburg. Team win tonight, 7-4 over New York.